Assalamu alaikum students. My name is Ali Hassan. As we are getting through the syllabus of class first year, today we are going to start chapter number 3, which is called motion and force. There are some previous definitions which are to be discussed now. As we know that the difference between vector and scalars as we have discussed it before, these are the quantities which are required, magnitude also. But in case of vector, we have studied that the vector quantities needed direction for their complete expression. But in case of motion and force, basically as we are going through the motion, so motion is a movement by the use of some force. When we apply a force on a body and it covers a direction, it covers some displacement in the direction of our force, then we say that the body is in motion. And the force is a basic factor which we use to move something from one place to another or to stop something from coming towards us. This is a basic factor to produce or to stop the motion of the body. So basically in this chapter, there are many definitions. As we go to the first definition, which is called velocity. Basically velocity is a measurement of a speed but in a specific direction. As we say that a body is moving with 10 meter per second speed, then we don't show the direction of the body as either it is going towards the left side or the right side. But when we say that 10 meter per second is a velocity, then it is necessary for us to tell the direction of the body as it is moving toward the right hand side. So this is called the velocity. So as we define the definition of the velocity, so velocity is equal to displacement divided by time. But in case of a very small change, we can also say that delta V is equal to delta D divided by delta T. D is called the displacement. So in SI system, the unit of velocity is meter per second and it is a vector quantity. But in case of first year, there is some specification which is called instantaneous. Basically instantaneous means the measurement of any specific identity at a very short interval of time is called instantaneous, and it could be written as limit delta t approaches to 0, delta d by delta t is equal to VINST. It is said that instantaneous. So this is the instantaneous value of the velocity, and it could be defined as the value or the amount of velocity at a very instant of time or at a very short interval of time is called instantaneous velocity. So now our topic is acceleration. Acceleration basically is the time rate of change of velocity, and it is also a very have a common resemblance with the definition of velocity, as we can say that acceleration is basically rate of change of velocity. Okay ji? So its SI unit can be written as meter per second square, and we can say that it is an acceleration. As it is an acceleration, so it is also said that acceleration is equal to rate of change of velocity. So its formula will become A is equal to V divided by T. So delta A, rate of change of acceleration, will become delta V divided by delta T, and V is called velocity. As we go to the instantaneous value of the acceleration, we can say that V A instant is equal to limit delta t approaches to 0 and delta V divided by delta t. So this is the basic definition of acceleration. This all chapter includes the graphical and numerical values of variables regarding motion, and these variables are distance, displacement, velocity, speed, acceleration, deceleration, retardation. So I'm skipping these small definition values as it is on the book. So we are going toward a very major topic. This is called linear equilibrium in one dimension, or it is also called elastic collision in one dimension. As we are going toward the elastic collision, so first of all I have to define the word elastic. So basically elastic means preserved. Preserved means that the kinetic energy and the momentum is preserved in that system which is called elastic. So basically elastic collision in one dimension defines that if a body is moving in a linear dimension, so after its collision with another body in the same direction, then there will be a preservation of momentum or conservation of momentum of both bodies in that elastic system. So now we are going to discuss elastic collision in one dimension as its derivation. In one dimension. First of all, I am going to discuss three states. Number one, before collision. These are the two bodies, M1 and M2 are moving toward the same dimension, and their velocities are V1 and V2. After their collision, they gain a new position, and after collision, their motion becomes M1. It will gain a new velocity which is called V1 prime, and M2 it gains a new velocity which is called V2 prime. So now, according to law of conservation of momentum, law of conservation of momentum said that the total momentum of a system remains constant or remains conserved after a collision is placed between two bodies. Law of conservation of momentum. As the definition of momentum said that P is equal to mv. So by using this formula, we can say that according to law of conservation of momentum, these formulations acquire a new equation which is called m1 v1 for the first mass plus m2 v2 for the second mass is equal to m1 v1 prime plus m2 v2 prime. So this equation will give us the final result for the law of conservation of momentum. So we can also say that by rearranging this equation, we can get m1 v1 minus m1 v1 prime is equal to m2 v2 prime minus m2 v2. By taking common from these these two sides, we can say that m1 into v1 minus v1 prime is equal to m2 into v2 prime minus v2. By naming this equation, we can say that this equation is called equation number 1. Now we are going towards the law of conservation of kinetic energy. According to law of conservation of kinetic energy, we can get a new equation by using this formula. Ke is equal to 1 by 2 mv square. So the new equation will become kinetic energy. So the new equation will become as 1 by 2 m1 v1 square plus 1 by 2 m2 v2 square is equal to 1 by 2 m1 v1 prime square plus 1 by 2 m2 v2 prime square. By rearranging or by taking something common from these two equations, we can get that 1 by 2 as taking both from the values m1 v1 square plus m2 v2 square is equal to, taking 1 by 2 also from this side, m1 v1 prime square plus m2 v2 prime square. By cancellation of these two values, we can get also, I'm going to rearrange this, m1 v1 square minus m2 m1 v1 prime square. So m2 v2 prime square as it is here, and by taking this value from left hand side towards the right hand side, it will change its also plus minus value, so it will become minus m2 v2 square. By taking common m1 into v1 square minus v1 prime square is equal to m2 into v2 prime square minus v2 square. As we know that according to the identities, we can say that, sorry, I have to remove it. We can say that m1 into v1 plus v1 prime into v1 minus v1 prime is equal to m2 into v2 prime plus v2 into v2 prime minus v2, and this equation will be called as equation number 2. We have second equation here and the first equation here. Now dividing equation 2 by equation 1. So m1 v1 plus v1 prime into v1 minus v1 prime is equal to m2 into v2 prime plus v2 into v2 prime minus v2 divided by equation number 1, m1 into v1 minus v1 prime divided by m2 into v2 prime minus v2. So m1 will be cancelled with m1, this will be cancelled with this, m2 on m2 and v2 prime minus v2 on v2 prime minus v2. So the remainder values will be v1 minus v1 prime is equal to v2 prime plus v2. Sorry, also has the plus value. You can also rearrange these values as v1 minus v2 is equal to v2 prime minus v1 prime. This is the final equation to find the hidden values or the hidden identities regarding elastic collision in one dimension. If we are going to find the velocity of the first body before collision, the velocity of the first body after collision, velocity of the second body before collision, velocity of the second body after collision. This is the final equation to find the unknown values of the variables regarding elastic collision in one dimension, and this is the whole derivation of this topic. So you will be find very easy to understand it because it is a very basic topic to manage the upcoming topics of this chapter, which are called projectile motion. So thank you so much.